Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mind Prosperity, where we believe where your mind goes, your life follows. And today we have Afrikaans singer and entertainer Matthys Roets with us. We're going to speak a little bit about your true self. We're going to speak about how people pleasing, caring too much what other people think, steals your true self. And we're going to speak a bit about the spotlight. We're going to speak about how to practically deal with some struggles. Matthys, welcome. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Yeah, we're so excited. As a start, can you tell people a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do?
Yeah, I started singing while I was busy studying. I studied science, microbiology, and I started singing then just for a bit of extra pocket money. And before I knew it, I was singing 7 nights a week in restaurants and pubs, and never really got to my classes the last 2 or 3 years, singing too much. So eventually, I just progressed to a music career instead of science.
Wow.
Um, so it's just by chance that I actually got into a singing career, but I still love to do that, and it's something that I can express myself and be myself with.
There's a song that I'm thinking about now. It's called I don't remember who actually sang it. A Free Electric Band. Do you remember that song where he said, "Well,
Oh
but I
yes, yeah,
gave it up
yeah,
for music"?
yeah.
Sounds a little bit about. Sounds a little bit like your life, right? All of these expectations about doing good, having a good career, and then you get to this place where you give it up for music. So let's speak a little bit about this idea of becoming your true self, being your true self, being okay with your true self, and then the expectations of others. Let's talk a little bit through that, and what can you give the viewers about that?
I think let's start with expectations of other people. I think that's probably the worst part to start off
Mm,
with, because you cannot be yourself. You cannot express yourself.
mm,
On a simple term or simple way of explaining it, if I just sing songs that I
mm.
think people would like, I will not sing songs that I like,
Wow,
and then
that's good.
people won't like the songs because they can only experience who you are
Mm,
if you express your true self.
mm,
Otherwise, it's just false. So for me, being myself was probably of being happy with who I am was probably the biggest. Even way back as a student,
mm,
it was the best decision I made, is to sing songs that I like
mm,
and to eventually live my life the way I want to live my life.
mm.
The first your high school years, and then I went to the army, and my first couple of years as a student, you always try to fit in, to be like everybody else expect you to be.
Mm,
Even people you don't know.
mm.
You know, you
Wow.
you 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 go to university and you try to dress up like the rest of them. And when I see photos, I just realize I was just an idiot. The way I look at myself then, because it's not who I am or who
Mm,
I was. So I know it's a short history lesson of myself,
mm.
compressed into a couple of minutes. But for me, how do I say it? The best part of me was when I found out who I really want to be, and
Mm.
not who other people want me to be.
Can you maybe give us a bit of an idea of, who is the person that you really wanted to be? What was the kind of songs that you wanted to sing, and what was the expectations of other people, more or less?
I think my type of songs that I like singing is just story songs. A
Okay.
song that's a um, not a. I don't want to do a party song, even though all the popular guys out there, they
Mm,
just want to party and sing.
mm.
So luckily for me is, at that stage, there was no record company that was interested
Oh,
in
really?
yeah, because they want to do party songs. That's it. They want to do pop music, and that's what they wanted to do. So and then I decided I'm going to start my own record company, and I'm going to produce my stuff myself, and I'm going to be my own boss. And that's probably the best decision I ever made, because nobody was in charge of me. Nobody
Mm,
could. Nobody wanted to push me in a direction that they think the market wanted,
Mm,
because the market, is there. The market, there's a lot of people who want to do party, but there's a lot of people that want to sit back with a glass of red wine and
mm,
listen to a song that tells a story.
mm,
But your professional guys out there, none of them, nobody
mm,
goes for laid back music. Everybody wants to go for party music. Except if you suddenly get a song that's a hit and it's a laid back song,
mm,
and then suddenly all go and say, "Oh, they always knew that
mm,
you wanted to do that, or that you can do that type of music."
mm,
But I think, sorry, I've drifted off course a little bit now. But
mm,
I think the main thing for me was um, I wanted to sing the songs that I like.
mm,
I want to sit with my guitar
mm,
and tell the story. And people need to close their eyes. They can sit back. They don't need to clap hands.
mm,
Surely don't get up and dance with my music. Just
mm.
sit and listen. Then I feel comfortable, and that's the type of music that I enjoy singing as well.
And was it a struggle for you, maybe making the decision, starting your own record company, or was it more like a smooth thing that went into flow?
No, it was easy
It was
because
easy.
I just started it. Like I said, a record company sounds kind of weird.
Mm,
It's not a record company. It was just for me. I just
mm,
produced my own stuff
mm,
and distributed it initially.
mm,
And so for me, that was just the easy way to go. And
mm,
nobody could tell me, listen, no, they want that or that or that, or do
mm,
this or do that.
mm,
And maybe I'm a bit stubborn. Maybe
mm,
I don't like people telling me
mm,
what's right or what's wrong.
mm,
But for me, that I don't think if I joined a record company 30 years ago in 1995, yeah,
mm,
30 years ago, can you believe it?
mm,
I don't think I would have still be singing. I think they would have produced the first CD with a couple of silly songs,
mm,
and I would have disappeared,
mm,
because I didn't believe in the music that everybody else
mm.
wanted to produce, the typical Afrikaans songs out there.
So I want to ask this question, and I hope it's okay if I ask it, but obviously you don't have to answer. But here's my question: does it happen a lot with people out there where they're like, "This is not actually what I want to sing, but this is what the people tell me to sing, so I'm just going to go for it."
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh, it
No,
does.
everybody wants to have a big hit, and most people can't
Mm,
really, uh, uh, you know, what do you call it, on their own terms, know what they want, and then suddenly I've seen exceptionally good singers,
mm,
and they release a stupid silly song, and they become well known for that, and
mm,
they can never get out of that trap again, because everybody expect them to keep on singing silly stuff, and they don't take them seriously when they sing a serious song as well.
sure.
So I think it can be a trap in yourself. And so for me, the most important part was that I had to sing what I
Mm,
like to sing,
mm,
and not what I expect, or people expect me to sing.
mm. So I think this is actually something very important what you just said. If you if you get to a place where you lose yourself, if you get to a place where you lose who you truly are in order to get the attention of other people, in order to get the hand claps of other people, if we can say it like that, it's very difficult to get out. It's very difficult to return back to your true self, because I think it's this whole idea of, as soon as you get into the spotlight, and we're going to speak about that now, as soon as you get into the spotlight and people kind of like have this idea of this is who you are and this is who you're supposed to be, and they kind of put like this label on you, it's so people might later say you've changed, but actually you didn't change. You actually just became your true self. What do you think that whole idea of, desiring the spotlight more than desiring becoming your true self does to a person?
I think that's the point where you lose yourself,
Mm,
because if you chase the spotlight, you have to adapt and please people.
mm,
You can never, except for a couple of exceptional people that you get out there
mm,
that that don't chase the spotlight. They are just so good that they
Mm.
can do that. But you know, and in the South African music industry, I've seen so many people. For them, is they want to chase the spotlight. You can
Mm.
sit at a table, and people walk to you, and we sit a couple of musicians at a table, and people walk up to us and try to stop, you know, and they can see that people approach us, and they go, "Oh, there's somebody. Oh, yes, you know that. Why don't they leave us alone?" And in
Mm.
the meantime, the guy approaching us is a school friend of mine, and he started talking to me, and how are you doing? And then the guy realized, but he's not even acknowledged. And then
Yeah.
he get up and he introduced himself. So he wants to be acknowledged,
Mm.
but he doesn't like being recognized. So it's a kind of a it's a kind of
Mm.
a trap that you get into, because they're irritated by people recognizing them. But if they don't recognize them, they can't stand it that they're not acknowledged.
Mm.
And that happens when you start to chase the spotlight. You know, you wanna do it for the fame, but you don't
Mm.
like the fame. My way of dealing with that is, um, I just I just try to be as normal as possible wherever I am.
Mm.
Yeah, just before a show or after a show, I don't try to be making a huge entrance, or suddenly disappear and get into a black car and drive off. And you know that there's South African singers that do that.
Mm.
They arrive in a black uh, little bus with people around them, and they run up and they sing, and they disappear again. They try to be important.
Mm.
um, and for me, that was the probably the last part of me, uh, that wanted to sing,
Mm.
was being important or being known. For
Mm.
me, it was the respect I get when I can look at an audience of 1,000 people in a big auditorium, and you can see they listen, and
Mm.
they listen to the songs. The song tells the story,
Mm.
and for me, that's the most important part.
Mm. Yeah, so I also think it comes in with a little bit of insecurity, that whole idea of acting almost as if it's not important to be recognized, but then feeling kind of like insecure when you are not recognized. And I think like I've seen many people, not just necessarily famous people or known people, that almost like act out as if they don't want something, but deep down they do actually want the recognition.
Yeah.
They do actually want the the spotlight, if I can say it like that. And I've realized that a lot of people, or let me rather say this, the way you get something is the way you keep it. So if you get people's approval by becoming somebody different, you're going to have to keep people's approval by staying somebody different. If you get people's approval by staying true to yourself, then you're going to keep people's approval by staying true to yourself. But obviously, this is going to be two different types of people, and I think a lot of times a person has to come. I remember I'm actually releasing a book now on the spotlight, and one of the first questions that the publishers asked me, and I don't know if you guys also get these questions. They asked me, "Who's your target market?" And at that stage, I honestly didn't know. I'm still not really sure if I know. I told them like this is what I want to write about. You guys can tell me later who you think my target market should be. But I also think like from one point of view, maybe the record company's point of view, they're gonna like, okay, what are the people going to like? What is going to sell? And then it's like, okay, become this because this is our target market. But I've realized in my own personal life, my target market is the people who truly love me and truly accept me for who I really am.
No, for sure. No, yeah, that's so on point. You just expressed it, more clearly than I try to express. But for me, that's it. The target market is is the market that wants to listen or read your book or want to listen to your music. That's your
Mm,
target market.
yeah.
You don't try and manipulate it. If you try to manipulate it, I mean, I've always make the joke. If I suddenly start to sing pop music now, because pop music is what everybody likes,
Mm,
I'm going to be the laughing stock of South Africa,
yeah.
because it's just going to be silly.
Mm,
It won't work for me. It's
mm,
just something I can make a joke about a pop song. We did it the other day on stage, and
mm,
we just joked about it, and that's fun. People love that. But I mean, and I'm not a serious person. I'm actually
mm,
always tell people I'm very, not multi-dimensional. I'm actually just quite kind of normal. I like a silly joke,
mm.
and I like being silly even.
Yeah.
Being like pull a prank on somebody, or that. But when I'm on stage, I try to tell it. Maybe I do the show in the sense that I would like to go and watch a show as well. I would like to listen to people and really get into what they're telling us. You
Mm,
know, with that in mind, I've seen exceptionally good rock shows,
mm,
or stuff that I enjoy as much,
mm,
but it's a show that I can't do. I'm not skilled enough to be a
mm,
rocker. But
mm,
so if I don't do certain stuff, it's not because I don't like it,
mm,
but I have to try and be true to myself,
mm,
and I have to enjoy being on stage. I have
mm,
to enjoy. For me, okay, yeah. Next thing is, then I don't enjoy being on stage to live off the crowd, to get the feeling of the crowd. I enjoy being on stage to sing what I want to sing, and I can see that people really, really
mm,
like sitting there
mm,
and listening, and not because it's a party. And I've got friends that do exceptionally good party shows,
mm.
and people love it.
Yeah.
They really, really like it. But it's not for me. I have to. And so obviously I've got a way smaller market,
Mm,
or target market for that matter, because it's a smaller market,
mm,
but it's a much more dedicated, and maybe I can relate. I have to
mm,
relate to the people in my show as well.
mm,
I always need to think that if the moment I get off stage, I need to be able to talk to them, and being able to even make friends with them immediately.
mm.
What I've seen with other artists and stuff, for a fact, they get off stage and they look at the audience and they think, "Wow, I can't be friends with these guys, but they carry
Mm.
me. They my audience." So that's
Yeah.
so for me, that's, yeah, it's kind of silly to say it that way, but it's I have to relate to the people in 100%.
Mm.
Needs the audience I need to relate to them as well, and possibly as friends as well.
So you're basically saying that distance is not necessary. That distance between the artist and the people is not necessary
For me, because
for
I've got
you.
a I haven't got a what do you call it, a fan base that's totally bonkers. They go wild when they see you.
Mm.
When I'm recognized on the street, people come up to me and say, "How are you?
Mm.
Thanks for the show.
Mm.
Have a nice day."
Yeah, I can
I don't
understand.
get people yelling, screaming, jumping up and down, or
Mm.
that type of thing. Really, very, very, very seldom.
Mm.
And that more or less kind of embarrasses me
Mm.
mostly. So
Mm.
for me, the most important part is to just feel normal.
Mm.
Enjoy talking to people when they recognize you, and if
Mm.
they don't recognize me, it's all good as well.
Mm.
It happened to me that I played golf 2 days ago, and there was guys playing with us, and only after about 9 holes, the one guy said, "No, where are you from, and what do you do for a living?"
Mm.
And his friends said, "You're wrong. He's Matthys Roets." So that doesn't and that it doesn't bother me. I
Yeah.
actually enjoy that.
Yeah.
I enjoy being able to relate to people without being me, my
Mm.
public persona,
Mm.
with just being me. So
Mm.
I enjoy that. For me, that's something, and I try to live my life like that as well. Not to rely on maybe that's important. Not to rely on my public persona
Mm.
to feel good, but to rely on my who I am,
Mm.
to make a friend, or to know somebody, or to feel better.
There's something you just said a while ago that I also think is very important is the fact that you're not this rock music artist doesn't mean you don't like rock music and you don't like rock shows. It just means that's not what you are producing at the moment. And I think also like this is where a lot of people maybe maybe get it wrong because they think like, if this is the kind of music I play, or if this is my authentic self, that this will naturally mean that I'm against something else. And I think it's so important to look at it that way because I myself, like, I love music. When I was about 15, 16, 17 years old, the only thing I wanted to become was a rock star. I wanted to become the next Kurt Cobain, well, in a music sense. And later sorry, there's just a bunch of birds flying here. Later, I learned to play guitar. I played for a few bands. I played for my church's band. But later, I realized that, where my true authentic gift lies is in writing and speaking. And I kind of had to give up the whole idea of becoming a musician on stage, not because I didn't like it. I just realized this is going to stay a hobby and not be a career. So I think that's a very important thing to say. If I don't produce it, it doesn't mean I don't like it. It just means that's not what I naturally produce.
Yes, I think uh, it's self-explanatory.
Mm,
To but for me, that's my whole career has been like that. Getting back to some of my other friends as well, I've listened to them sing beautiful songs. They sit there with the guitar and they sing a beautiful song, and I said, but sing it on stage. No,
mm,
no, it's not a popular song. They just like the song. I said, but sing the song. Get people to listen to you on a. But some of my friends are scared
mm,
uh, if they sing and people sit there and look at them.
mm,
They're getting scared. They want people to be a bit rowdy and be a bit. They don't want them to. So each to its own. But I think for me it's like you said. It's important to getting back to your target market.
mm,
I realized I had a target market when I started singing in the pubs, and at that stage I started singing Afrikaans music in the pubs,
mm,
and a lot of times the manager or somebody comes up to me and said, "Listen, no Afrikaans music, please." I said, "Listen, there's only two tables here, and they're both Afrikaans,
mm,
so they came here because I'm singing here." So don't. But that's the same thing that happens. They
yeah,
they they try to force a certain narrative,
mm,
and they don't read the room. They
mm,
don't realize, but that's what is going on now. The people sitting there really sit and listen. That's what they came there for,
mm,
and in a way, that's maybe how I uh, uh, eventually ended up recognizing that I've got a target market. I must just I'm just keep being myself and keep
mm,
to myself and do the songs that I know I can sing to that target market. I mustn't, I've tried a couple of like silly songs or a pop song or something, and you can just see in their faces. Say, no, listen, no, it's not good. Don't do that. Don't do that. You realize that. So sing what you want to sing and do that and share what you like with the people out there.
why did you try them, if I may ask?
No, you always wants to maybe there's a new song out there that everybody sings or a new hit song, and you want to try it as well, and you realize, but that hit song doesn't suit me,
Mm,
and that's another thing that I never did. I never chased after current hit songs. I never
mm,
tried to do. I've you get people that as soon as the hit song comes out, they try to cover it as well.
mm,
But in that sense, you always compete directly
mm,
with the
mm,
original.
mm,
So I always used to go way back or try something different, something that's not that well known. But I can always feel when I want to sing something, I
mm,
can feel, okay, but this I want to tell this story, and then
mm,
I do it maybe slightly different as well. And
mm,
because it's not a current hit, people don't judge you
mm.
for singing the song slightly different
Yeah.
because they can listen to it. But
Mm,
if you try and even if you do it better
mm,
than the original,
mm,
people don't want it. They
mm,
want to listen to the original. So you immediately compete
mm,
with the perception or
mm,
or what people expect how
mm,
the song is supposed to sound like.
mm. So I remember, well, in my younger days, I remember you had these shows. I remember, Lucas Maria was one of the people that I know you worked with, and I think Connie de Villiers as well. Why I'm saying this is, who are some of the Afrikaans artists, songwriters that inspired you, that you worked with, and why?
For me, is when I started singing, like I said, Afrikaans music scene, it's always been bubblegum. That's it. It's like it's never uh, um, being really as if they don't want to take themselves serious,
Mm, mm, mm,
because all the record producers, all the record companies knew if they do it that way, they will sell.
mm,
They weren't prepared to, like I said, that's why nobody was interested
mm,
in my style of music.
mm,
So for me, the best moments in my life was when I uh, started to listen to Lucas Maria, Coenie de Villiers, Dani Neus, Yanni de Tooy, Koos du Plessis, the guys that write a song not with a hit in mind.
that's good.
They wrote a song that they wanted to sing
Mm,
and tell a story with.
mm,
They never wrote a song,
mm,
um, or tried to write a song. They all of them had hits,
mm,
but it was normal songs. It was
mm,
songs that people could relate to,
mm,
and and they got careers out of that.
mm,
So for me, it was those guys, the guys that I can listen to and think, whoa, it's Afrikaans guys. And for me, the best part is that eventually I'm friends with all of them,
mm,
except I never met Koos du Plessis.
mm,
But the other name, Dani Neus and Kuni and Lucas, we were such good friends. Yanni de
mm,
Tooy,
mm,
and we all of us, did shows together as well. So it was, for me, it was kind of
mm,
a really big moment when I
mm,
eventually got to meet some of these masters and
mm,
sing their songs and even sing the songs with them.
mm. I like what you said about this whole idea of, I'm not writing a song basically to get in the spotlight. I'm not writing a song to get approval, but I'm writing a song because this is true to who I am. And I'm putting it out there because I want to put who I am out there. And I'm actually wondering as we speak now, because I know you also did, when we go to the English market, you also did a few Leonard Cohen songs. And I wondered if it was the same with him. I wonder if he was that type of person that said, this is what I want to say, rather than, I don't know if you know the answer to that.
Oh, for sure, he did that. Yeah. No,
Okay.
no, no. He never ever wanted to write a hit song for the um, uh, what do you say, for the, and he said that as well.
Mm,
Koos du Plessis said the same things, and and then somebody else that I really really enjoyed listening to is Neil Diamond.
mm,
But I think the same thing there. He's just an exceptional songwriter.
mm,
He could write a whole variety of songs in different genres. And Leonard Cohen, I still do up to this day. I still do Leonard Cohen performances. I was in Cape Town 2 weeks ago with a whole series of Leonard Cohen shows. And for me, what I like about Leonard Cohen is also the honesty
mm,
of his stories and his songs.
mm.
Um, it's not something that he wrote
For
for,
impress.
to impress people.
Mm,
He knew exactly what he wanted to say, and he didn't care. And I think that's why people like it,
mm,
because they can feel the honesty.
mm. So before I get to our final discussion, if there's anybody who want to know more about you, want to make a booking, where can they go to? Do you have a website? Do you have contact details
It's on my Facebook.
on
Yeah,
your Facebook?
nowadays it's easier. My website, I don't even know what's going on my website. I'm terrible with that. It's probably still there. My website is just matthysroets.co.za. And but I think it's my Facebook page is easier. All my emails and my phone numbers and everything is there.
Okay.
Obviously, and then people can just page through and see who I am when
Okay.
I post photos and try to do some silly stuff in my wheelchair. I always try to. That's the only time that I want to impress people is when I'm in my wheelchair. You try to do silly things and say, look,
Uh,
look, look, watch me, watch me, watch me. Yeah. So
Okay. So let's this was actually going to be the final thing I wanted to talk about is your you've been in an accident a few years ago and this caused you to be in a wheelchair. How did this affect your life, and what coping strategies are you using today, and how does this affect you and your career?
No, it's been 16 years now since
Hmm.
the accident, and I made a kind of scary, what do you call it? I had a scary thought, or shit. No, I'm stuck in Afrikaans. I had a scary kind of revelation the other day when I realized that my career, I've been singing longer in wheelchair than uh, not in a wheelchair. I mean, my professional career. And
Sure.
I always, up to now, I always thought that my wheelchair is kind of the last little bit, short bit of my life,
Mm.
but it's not.
Sure.
I started singing professionally in 1995. It's 20 years now, and 16 years I've been in a wheelchair.
Sure.
So that was obviously the biggest part of my life, the starting point of my career.
Mm.
But uh, and coping mechanisms, I don't really think about it.
Oh,
Um,
really?
because I just want to go on.
Mm.
Practical stuff there is. You need to learn to do physical stuff and practical stuff.
Mm.
And in the beginning, the first couple of years, traveling was kind of daunting. Every time you go on a trip, you need to plan in advance for everything. For
Mm.
space and bathrooms and
Mm.
sleeping arrangements, and it
Mm.
was a huge thing because you don't really know how far you can go. But after 16 years, you get so used to it
Mm.
that you just do it. I don't even try to do special arrangements anymore.
Mm.
Obviously, it must just be kind of practical. You don't put me in a top story with a lot of steps.
Mm.
But in the beginning, it was my probably the scariest part
Mm.
was every time you go into an area that you're not acquainted with.
Mm.
Last year, I did a Namib trip, Ludritz to Walvis Bay. 6 days driving on the dunes every day, sleeping in
Mm.
tents on the sand.
Sure.
And a couple of years ago, it was really daunting, and I didn't even I wouldn't have even tried it,
Mm.
and it wasn't even difficult. It was easy.
Oh,
So I
wow.
think that the thing for me was to get to a point where you don't look at the obstacles,
Mm.
look at the solutions.
Wow,
There's
that's
always
good.
a solution,
Yeah.
and sometimes not easy,
Mm.
but there is a solution.
Mm.
And for me, that's probably since being in a wheelchair, and even up to today, I still dream that I can walk, and sometimes I find myself walking into a shower, and I think, but why do I never do it?
Mm.
Why am I still in my wheelchair? But I but,
Mm.
but I dreamt that. So
Mm.
you kind of dream that you can do something,
Mm.
and you realize, but you can't do it because it's
Mm.
probably the most difficult part is the personal stuff.
Mm.
That's where you're really exposed.
Mm.
But the rest of my life is I carry on. I mean,
Mm.
2 weeks ago I skied in Afri ski,
Wow.
and Tuesday I played golf with my son, and that's the way I would like to try and keep on living my
Mm.
my life. It's really doing stuff that I still can do,
Mm.
and not try to look at the wall in front of me
Mm.
with stuff that I just can't do anymore.
Mm.
And eventually, in that way, I don't even feel restricted the way I'm living at the moment. I know people probably won't believe me.
Mm.
You will get people, yeah, but how does it really go? No, it's going well. Yeah, but how does it really go tonight? Night when you get into bed, are you still okay?
Yeah.
Listen, this is who I am. I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm that's who I am, and I try to keep it that way. And it's not with a conscious effort or a getting up in the morning and say, okay, be happy,
Mm,
Look at the sunshine, listen to the
mm,
birds, and say thanks for being up. And I haven't got any of
mm,
that kind of rules to my life.
mm,
Simple things can entertain me. I've got a huge room in my bedroom with no curtains and a tree outside, and I can sometimes just look at the birds and just look at it, and I can
mm,
find myself smiling
mm,
without trying to consciously
mm,
think about it as I have to make my day better by
mm,
thinking my day better. There's
mm,
so much around you
mm.
that can make you smile,
Yeah.
and that's how I try to enjoy life around me, and
Mm,
not to look at the restrictions. Obviously,
mm,
a wheelchair. There's a couple of really stupid little things that
mm,
gets to you.
mm,
You can't look under your bed.
mm,
You can't. You want to get into a cupboard or a plug. You need to charge something, and there's the plug is just out of reach, and
mm,
all those little things, little
mm.
frustrating things,
Yeah.
get to you. But I vent myself with just a couple of crude words, and then try to make a plan to get to it. So there, it's not all roses and all good, because I live my life the way I would like it to be.
Mm,
Um, but I think the best part for me is, and I don't know, I hope some people will see that in themselves as well, or
mm,
try to learn that,
mm.
or to express themselves in that way.
Yeah.
Um, but there's a smile in so many things around you. You don't need to go and search. I always tell people, you get, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm drifting now,
Uh-huh.
but you get people that wants to. They're tired of Pretoria. They want to go to Cape Town now
Mm,
because
mm.
life will be better there.
Yeah.
Okay, go there. What made your life better there?
Yeah.
Not you.
Yeah.
So why is your life better there?
Mm,
And maybe you just want to
mm,
tell people that it's better. But
mm.
if you're unhappy
Yeah.
anywhere, you're going to be unhappy.
Yeah.
Don't change meaningless stuff around you, or
Mm,
random stuff,
mm,
to think, okay, if I just get that, my life will
mm.
be better, because
Yeah.
it will never get better by changing a meaningless, mundane type of thing. Do look at yourself and feel what can make you smile,
Mm,
and what the stuff that can make you smile
mm,
doesn't need to be something really different. It means to be just yourself.
mm.
Just smile.
So I remember, I think a while ago, somebody spoke to me. This was a few years ago, actually, but I'll never forget this. Somebody spoke to me and they were so tired of their life here and they wanted to move to Australia, New Zealand, or something. And I told them, it's okay, you can move. There's only one problem. They say, oh, what is that? I said, you're going with. And what I actually meant by that is the same mindset, the same interpretation, the same perception of life that you have here, you will take with you there, and you will basically create the same emotional state. And what I really like about what you said today, and this is for me a key takeaway that I can see, is that you are always just happy and accepting of who you are, what you like, what you dislike, and where you are in life. And I think this is one of the main things that I wanted to articulate to our audience today is everybody is not going to agree with you. You're not going to like what everybody else likes. You're not going to go through what everybody else goes through. People are going to give you their opinions and their thoughts on things. But if you don't get to a place where you are okay with you and you make a decision for your own life, you be your authentic self, regardless of what everybody else says about you, you're not going to be happy and you're not going to be content. And this is one thing that I can see in you is that you are content in everything. And this for me is a great example. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, I think the same. I've got friends in Australia,
Mhm.
and the only thing that will send me is snippets or how bad it is in South Africa. I said, listen, but you're in Australia now. Why? As if they wanted to tell me,
Yeah.
you know, it's better there. They want to keep on reinforcing
mm,
their own idea of moving there.
mm,
But like, let's not talk about that. For me, the most important part is my life changed dramatically.
mm,
And but from the start, I wanted to look for the positives, and not positives in a sense that you want to write it down or anything. I just wanted to see
mm,
what is there. I look at the way my two boys looked at me the
mm,
first time that they came to visit me in the hospital. I was in a wheelchair, and
mm,
I realized, okay, I've got to show them now
mm,
that I'm okay.
mm.
It's important for me.
Yeah,
I,
that's good.
I can't tell them, listen, okay, okay, no, don't do that, don't do that. So my first thing when I popped my first wheelie in a wheelchair, or when I immediately showed them, and I teach them. I get off and sit on my bed, and I teach them how to wheelie. So I
Mm,
wanted to make it as normal as possible,
mm,
and as and not as a restrictive type of device, but as an amazing tool to
mm,
be able to still do stuff. And
mm,
I think life on its own is, there's people with probably bigger restrictions
mm,
in their lives
mm.
without it being visible.
Sure, that's good.
And uh, and I think that's and all of them got a battle.
Mm,
They battle something in life, and it's not as easy for them
mm,
to show how to conquer the
mm,
restrictions they've got.
mm,
I've got a physical tool. If I'm in my wheelchair, I'm faster than most people. In a shopping mall, I get road
mm.
rage because people with trolleys are always like kind of changing lanes without putting their flickers on,
Yeah.
and then I've got to go around them because I'm doing a really really fast pace. If my sons goes with me, they need to run to stay with me. It's not
Mm,
a And that's how I like moving. I like being fast.
mm,
So uh, for me, that's the most important part. It's not to
mm,
well, in the same sense, I don't want to give people a chance to even contemplate the idea of pushing me.
mm,
You still get that. You still get
mm.
that people selling gets behind you, and you feel like the chair doesn't want to go. And it's somebody that feels sorry for you, and they try to push you,
Yeah.
but they push you slower than you want to go. So it's kind of weird, You
Yeah.
you and that's one of the things I hate
Mm,
most about a wheelchair
mm,
is people suddenly getting up to you and want to help you, or
mm,
want to push you, or want
mm,
to help you load the wheelchair. When I get into my car, it takes me about 30 seconds. Get in my car, load my wheelchair, and drive off. And you
mm,
still get people that wants to come and help, and they're usually just interfering, doing that pushing there, doing that, dropping stuff. They make the whole process so much slower
mm,
because they want to help. It's still nice to the idea that people wants to help, but they're so used to the narrative
mm,
out there that people in wheelchairs are just basically uh,
mm,
you're not being able to do stuff for themselves. So I try to be quick and brisk, sorry,
mm.
and show them, listen, don't feel sorry for me. And that's one of the other things I try to do in life. I like to show people
Mm.
that it's cool to be in a wheelchair, that it's okay to be in a wheelchair.
Yeah, it's
They
very
don't
good.
they don't need to look at me wide-eyed and feel sorry for me.
Mm,
I can do stuff, and I can do some of it. I can do better than them, and some of it I can't do at all. But
mm.
I'm out there. I can live my life.
That's brilliant. Yes, this was actually such a great interview, and I think there's so many key takeaways people can take. Matthys, thank you so much. If there's one last thought you can give people based on what we've spoken about today, being yourself, not chasing this whole idea of the spotlight, doing the best with what you have. What is the final key takeaway you can give people today?
I think you can only be yourself if you're happy with yourself.
Wow, that's good.
And if you're happy with yourself, you can be yourself. So
That's
the two
great.
goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
You can't decide I'm going to be myself, but I'm unhappy.
Mm,
And you can't decide I'm going to be happy, but I'm not allowing myself to be myself.
mm,
So I think the two needs to go hand in hand, and it starts just with a smile,
mm,
just with or smiling at people sometimes.
Mm,
You know what? I've tried a couple of years ago. I tried to, even if I just go through a toll gate,
mm,
I just try and, show them I'm friendly.
mm,
It doesn't take a lot,
mm,
and it's sometimes surprising the results you get
mm,
from just giving a smile. A waiter, sometimes you can look at them. They had a bad day. They're not really,
mm,
not really smiley, and they're not really good. And sometimes you won't break that cycle
mm,
if you don't if you try to meet fire with fire.
mm.
Sometimes the other way around is just to smile nicely and say thank you very much, even at the end, and you realize suddenly there's a smile. They just had a bad day.
Mm,
So for me, that's one of the most important part is to smile, but live the smile.
that's
Don't
brilliant.
just don't just smile the smile to impress people. Live the smile. Feel the
Mm.
smile. Smile because you want to show somebody that you're smiling.
That's brilliant. Matthys, thank you so much. This was really brilliant. And I think it's going to help so many people. It actually helped me a lot. Um, yeah, thank you for what you do. Thank you for who you are. And yeah, thank you for taking the time to speak to us today. We are so excited about your career further. We're definitely gonna follow it. And yeah, may you just keep being the authentic musician that you are. May you keep on showing smiles to people, and may you keep on having influence. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate you.
Thank you very much. It's nice. It was nice to talk to you, and even just by talking, I realized a couple of things about myself as well. Because you don't always express what
Hmm.
you feel,
Yeah,
so your
definitely.
questions, in a sense, forced me to express who I am, and for me, that was just as nice and revealing uh, for me as well. Thank you very much.
Well, it makes me feel so good because what the people might not know is we didn't plan the questions. We just kind of like did it spontaneously. So thank you so much. It makes me feel so good.
Great stuff. Thank you very much.